Okay, guys, tonight we're going to try reacting to the Christmas Story, 15 weird facts you didn't know. So, let's see, the description says, deep dive, 15 weird facts, real life foundation to props that got destroyed, to the filming tricks that fooled you. Okay, so let's just get into this and see if we can learn anything new. I don't know. Yesterday, I was really hoping that the other one would have deleted scenes and stuff, but it didn't. So let's see what this has to offer. I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
No, I want an official red carbonation 200 rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Remember when Christmas movies didn't need a CGI reindeer to become holiday classics? In 1983,
Yes.
MGM quietly released A Christmas Story, and it became the movie families leave running for 24 straight hours every Christmas Day. Set in 1940s Indiana, the movie follows 9-year-old Ralphie Parker, played by Peter Billingsley, who wants exactly one thing for Christmas: a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock. The problem was every adult in his life: his mom, played by Melinda Dillon, his teacher, and even Santa. Along the way, Ralphie navigates Gut Farkas, the neighborhood bully with yellow eyes. Based on the real childhood.
I remember that guy being so scary when I was a kid. I thought he was like so creepy. And also he kind of reminds me of some like bully kid that would be in, what's that movie? The Hook movie? He kind of seems like a lost boy, but like a mean one or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah, he scared me when I was a kid. Also, I'm holding my little new microphone in my hand because I got used to holding my other one. So this is how I feel comfortable now.
Stories of Gene Shepherd, who narrates the whole movie himself. A Christmas Story turned everyday kid disasters into cinematic gold. Today, we've got 15 weird facts that'll make you see this Christmas classic in a whole new light. And trust us, you won't
I still want one of those leg lamps.
believe what they blew the budget on for fact number 1. Now, before we get started, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Now, let's get into the countdown with number 15. The movie is basically Gene Shepherd's childhood. Gene Shepherd didn't just narrate A Christmas Story. He harvested the movie straight from his own 1940s childhood, turning his real neighbors, disasters, and daydreams into the world of Ralphie Parker. Shepherd spent years spinning semi-autobiographical stories on his late-night radio show, turning his 1940s Indiana childhood into comedy gold. Eventually, he bundled them into books, like In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, which director Bob Clark loved so much, he said, let's just turn this into a movie. So, Shepherd, Clark, and Shepherd's wife, Lee Brown, stitched together a script from those radio yarns. Ralphie is young Gene from Hammond, Indiana. The old man with the lamp obsession and crossword addiction is Shepherd's actual dad.
A lamp! It was indeed a lamp.
Isn't that great? What a great lamp!
The Red Ryder BB gun saga is totally real. Shepherd really did beg for one, and yes, adults really did tell him he'd shoot his eye out. Here's the kicker. Instead of hiring some smooth-voiced actor to narrate adult Ralphie's thoughts, Shepherd just did it himself. That warm, slightly sarcastic voiceover guiding the whole movie is the man reliving his own childhood, roasting himself in real time. Number 14, MGM.
That's actually pretty cool. Okay, MGM didn't believe in A Christmas Story. Oh, and practically buried it. So they didn't think it would be good or like that it would be popular.
Didn't believe in A Christmas Story and practically buried it. MGM looked at A Christmas Story and decided it was a movie nobody wanted to see. Spoiler alert, they were spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
The studio tossed Bob Clark a modest $3.3 million budget, barely marketed the thing, and then, in a move that still baffles common sense, pulled it from most theaters before Christmas even happened. Yeah, you literally couldn't watch the Christmas movie during Christmas.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh!
Someone got paid to make that call, by the way. The theatrical run brought in around $20 million, which is respectable enough, but nothing that would make MGM think they had a holiday goldmine on their hands. So they shrugged and moved on, assuming the movie would fade into obscurity
Oh my
like
gosh.
most mid.
The part with the kid, this kid in his little snowsuit, cracks me up so much.
Budget releases. Now here's where it gets good. Once A Christmas Story hit cable in the late 80s, it found its people.
Merry Christmas.
Turner Networks launched their 24-hour Christmas Day marathons in the 90s. MGM gave A Christmas Story a theatrical shrug and a quick exit. Cable television gave it immortality. Talk about a Christmas miracle the studio never saw coming. Number 13, the Parker
Okay.
house was real and a superfan bought it on eBay. The Parker family house wasn't some Hollywood backlot set. It was a real 19th century home in Cleveland's Tremont neighborhood, complete with the exact right number of windows for
Wait, did you see the sign that said free parking? I guess you could look like you could do tours there or something.
displaying a major award. And in 2004, it got the most devoted new owner imaginable. Brian Jones, a Navy veteran who'd already built a business selling replica lamp legs,
Oh,
saw
wow.
the house listed on eBay and thought, you know what? I should just buy the whole thing. So he did for $150,000.
Sorry, I had to rewind that. I had like a coughing fit after I heard how much the guy who bought this house paid for it. So, let's go back and watch that part again.
New owner imaginable. Brian Jones, a Navy veteran who'd already built a business selling replica lamp legs, saw the house listed on eBay and thought, you know what? I should just buy the whole thing. So he did for $150,000.
$150,000 was all that cost? That's kind of crazy. Like, I know it's really small and it's probably quite a bit older than like the Home Alone house, say, but the Home Alone house would probably go for like several $1,000,000, I would assume. I don't know, that's kind of weird.
Then Jones went into full superfan mode. He spent another few $100,000 gutting and rebuilding the interior to match the movie's Toronto sets.
Wow.
Every knob, every floorboard, obsessively recreated.
The house was sold. This place was completely renovated, and believe it or not, the house that you're seeing these scenes inside of was a condo, or a duplex, I guess you could say. It was an upstairs and downstairs apartment.
By 2006, he opened it as a Christmas Story house and museum, instantly turning Cleveland into a pilgrimage site for nostalgic BB gun enthusiasts. Today, you can tour Ralphie's home, pose with the leg lamp, hide under the sink like Randy, and even sleep overnight in Ralphie's actual bedroom. There's also a museum next door packed with original props, plus a gift shop where you can buy your own fragile lamp to traumatize your neighbors. In 2023, longtime employee Joshua Dickerson
Maybe I need to go. I need one of those lamps.
took over operations, making sure the legacy and that lamp glow stays lit for years to come. Number 12, Ralphie still owns the bunny suit and the BB gun. Most child actors walk away from their movies with memories and maybe a signed poster. Peter Billingsley walked away from A Christmas Story with the holy trinity of Ralphie memorabilia.
Aunt Clara had for years labored under the delusion that I was not only perpetually 4 years old, but also a girl.
Here's the kicker. Peter didn't save them, his mom did. While the studio treated these props like
I've always wanted a tree with all of this like tinsel on it, and I've never been able to have it because my cats will eat it. But I love how it looks, and I wish I could have one like that.
disposable wardrobe pieces, she had the foresight to squirrel them away just in case this weird little Christmas movie ever mattered to anyone, and it did. The bunny suit, that pink nightmare Aunt Clara inflicted on the world, is still safely tucked in Billingsley's personal collection. The Red Ryder BB gun that was gifted to him by the producers, and yeah, the cowboy costume survived too, chaps and all. Occasionally, Billingsley lends the items out for anniversaries or museum displays, but most of the time, they stay stored away. The ultimate souvenirs from a movie he shot at age 12 that became a holiday institution. Number 11, Jack Nicholson almost played the old man. A Christmas Story feels grounded and
Oh, that would have been pretty cool.
authentic because the parents actually look like parents. That almost didn't happen because at one point the studio wanted Jack Nicholson as the old man. Picture Ralphie asking for a BB gun while Jack leans in with that "Here's Santa" grin. Merry Christmas, everyone. Nicholson was reportedly a fan of Gene Shepard's stories and was even willing to take a pay cut to do the movie. But Shepard, who narrated and co-wrote the film, knew that dropping one of Hollywood's biggest stars into a nostalgic childhood memoir would throw the whole thing off. Instead,
That is true. I think the guy who plays his dad does a really good job. But it would have been interesting.
of focusing on leg lamps and furnace battles, audiences would have spent 2 hours waiting for Jack to snap. So the role went to Darren McGavin, a veteran character actor who nailed the everyman chaos. The muttering, the crossword puzzles, the war against the Bumpus Hounds. He didn't feel like a movie star, he just felt like your dad.
Close her up. Close it up.
Can I try it out, Ma? Can I?
Okay, but outside.
Mrs. Parker went to Melinda Dillon, fresh off Close Encounters. She wasn't a marquee name by any stretch of the imagination, but she brought warmth, humor, and purpose.
She seemed like such a nice mom most of the time. She had such a nice, calm, soothing voice. She seemed like a good mom. She played a good part.
Perfect energy without stealing focus. Casting two talented but not flashy actors kept the movie relatable and timeless. Number 10, the leg lamp was custom built and every single one broke. The old man's major award, that glorious beacon of questionable taste lighting up the front window, didn't exist until the production team invented it. And then they promptly destroyed every single one. The lamp started as a memory from Gene Shepard, who recalled an old illuminated knee-high soda ad featuring a shapely leg. Production designer Ruben Freed took that mental snapshot and turned it into a gloriously tacky masterpiece. Fishnet stockings, gold fringe, and a lampshade that looked like it belonged in the world's tackiest speakeasy. Since nothing like it existed in real life, the team hand-built multiple versions using fiberglass, breakaway glass, and a cast from a model's leg. They needed a couple sturdy versions for close-ups and a few doomed sacrificial lamps for the big crash scene.
I don't know what happened. I was watering my plant and I broke your lamp.
But all the lamps made for the film broke. Every single one. Some shattered during shooting. One died a very real death in that famous accident scene. Yes, that crash you hear is an actual prop meeting its maker, and the survivors didn't make it past wrap. By the time production ended, the
Well, that's too bad. They don't have any of them from the actual movie.
world's entire supply of authentic movie leg lamps was zero, which is why fans today treat replicas like holy grails. The ones displayed at the A Christmas Story house are not originals, just very good recreations of a prop that couldn't survive its own movie. Number 9, Flick's tongue was held on by suction tube. The Flick scene is so convincing that it became a seasonal public safety announcement. Every winter, some kid somewhere decides to test whether a frozen pole can actually steal your tongue. Well, it can, but on set, it was pure movie magic. To keep young Scott Schwartz's tongue intact, the crew built a fake pole with a hidden suction tube. They drilled a tiny hole right where his tongue would land, connected it to a vacuum motor buried under the snow, and when the camera rolled, whoop, gentle suction held his tongue in place. No frostbite, no pain.
Well, that would have freaked me out. No wonder he did such a good job acting that part. I mean, it really was kind of stuck. That's creepy.
Just a committed kid actor and a surprisingly strong vacuum. Schwartz has said he could pop his tongue off the pole the second they yelled cut, but the flailing arms and the muffled stuck was all acting. Really, really good acting. The scene was so convincing that kids everywhere tried it for real, leading to actual stuck tongues every winter. Parents even called Schwartz asking what their kids should do, as if he had some secret Hollywood tongue removal technique. So no, the filmmakers didn't torture a child, they just created the perfect illusion and let the legend and the annual tongue-sticking incidences live forever. Number 8, Peter Billingsley beat 8,000 kids to become Ralphie. Landing the role of Ralphie meant beating out roughly 8,000 other kids. Director Bob Clark liked Peter Billingsley from day one. The kid was already famous from those messy Marvin Hershey syrup commercials and had even co-hosted Real People.
A great taste of chocolate milk made with good old-fashioned Hershey's chocolate syrup.
This is gonna be delicious. Sure looks good. Wait till you taste it.
Clark thought he was perfect,
okay.
maybe too perfect, too obvious, too known. So naturally, Clark did the logical thing. He auditioned half the continent anyway. Future stars like Sean Astin and Will Wheaton threw their hats in the ring. Thousands of kids read lines, put on oversized glasses, and begged for BB guns. Clark spent months searching across the US and Canada, determined to find the perfect Ralphie. After all that, he picked the first kid he auditioned.
No, I want an official Red Rider combination 200 rifle.
He was perfect.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Billingsley walked in with that
That Santa was creepy too.
mix of innocence and mischief and instantly owned the part. Clark later admitted he had us from the beginning. 7,999 kids tried to snag the Red Ryder spotlight, but Peter Billingsley was always going to be the one wearing those oversized glasses and convincing generations that a BB gun was the greatest Christmas gift ever. Now, before we keep going, drop a comment and let us know if A Christmas Story is part of your family's holiday tradition. And be honest, have you ever tried sticking your tongue to a frozen pole? No judgment, we've all been there, or
Well, I haven't watched it since, I don't know when the last time was. I was probably in my 20s. And no, I've never stuck my tongue on a frozen pole. What about you? Leave it in the comments.
at least thought about it. Now, let's continue
Never
with
thought
number
about it.
7. The
Scared to
Chinese
death.
restaurant scene was planned, but the chaos was totally real. The Parker's Chinese restaurant Christmas dinner is one of those scenes that feels so spontaneous you assume the cameras just happened to be rolling when chaos struck. Not quite, but the filmmakers did engineer it to feel like the most wonderfully chaotic Christmas dinner ever imagined. Director Bob Clark wanted a genuine, unfiltered reaction from Melinda Dillon, so he didn't give her the real script page for the roast duck reveal. She had no idea the bird was coming out with its head still attached. When she shrieks,
Oh my
"It's
gosh.
smiling at me," and starts laughing through tears, that's not acting. That's Melinda Dillon realizing she's face to face with a very real duck head. Clark wanted authenticity, and he got it. As for the famous fa ra 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 moment, the mispronunciation was in the script, reflecting Gene Shepard's original story. But beyond that, there's no solid behind-the-scenes source confirming specific coaching or direction for the waiter's delivery. What we do know is that the actors performed it straight from the page, and their dead serious commitment is what makes it so memorable. The result is a scene that still feels loose, unpredictable, and instantly relatable, like every family holiday meal that spirals just a little bit off the rails. Number 6, Ralphie's soap scene came from real life, but the soap in his mouth didn't. Getting your mouth washed out with soap was a totally normal childhood punishment.
Is that just a piece of plastic? It probably is just a piece of plastic or something. I never had this happen. Never, ever, ever. Did you ever have your mouth washed out with soap? Leave it in the comments.
The 1940s. Gene Shepard knew this firsthand. The scene where Ralphie gets a bar of life buoy shoved between his teeth came straight from Shepard's own childhood trauma. But Peter Billingsley didn't have to suffer the same fate. The filmmakers weren't about to torture a 12-year-old in the name of authenticity, so instead of using actual soap, they crafted a bar out of wax.
You ready to tell me?
Wax. Okay.
Dyed and shaped to look exactly like life buoy, but completely harmless. So while the punishment in the movie was pulled straight from Gene Shepard's real-life memories, the on-set version was pure movie magic. The safest, least soapy childhood trauma a kid actor could ask for. Number 5. Higbee's let them film as long as nothing unseemly happened. Department stores were the center
Unseemly? What's that? Oh, that bus is cool.
of the Christmas universe, full of lights, magic, and one slightly terrifying Santa. A Christmas Story nailed that feeling because they filmed inside a real department store. Higbee's in downtown Cleveland. Getting permission wasn't easy. Most major stores refused, but Higbee's said yes with conditions. The first rule was no profanity, not even a tiny mutter of the old man's usual furnace vocabulary. Higbee's executives demanded nothing unseemly happen on their pristine retail floors.
Oh, fudge.
Filming also had to happen at ridiculous hours, early mornings and late nights, so the crew wouldn't disturb actual Christmas shoppers trying to buy socks and fruitcakes in peace.
Wow, now I feel like they just shut a place down. When my sister lived in Chicago, they would film stuff and they'd just shut a street down for the day or whatever. So that's interesting that they had to film around shoppers. Usually you close it down and there'd be extras, you know? That's cool.
That holiday parade scene in Public Square was shot at 3 a.m. Higbee's even went full Christmas MVP and left their decorations up weeks past the holiday so production could get every shot they needed. They used real employees and local Clevelanders as extras to nail that authentic, bustling holiday chaos. The building still stands today, now home to a casino, but film buffs can still spot pieces of the original architecture. A little slice of Christmas movie history hiding inside a place where someone's losing $20 on blackjack as we speak. Number 4, from bully to businessman, and Ralphie to Hollywood boss. Zach Ward, better known to fans as yellow-eyed terror Scut Farkas, didn't just grow up, he kept going. After a
Oh, that's that guy. Has he been in like Hallmark movies or something? He definitely looks familiar.
Christmas Story, Ward built a steady acting career with roles in Titus, Transformers, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Lost, and American Horror Story. But he didn't stop there. In 2014, he co-founded Grit Filmworks, a production company focused on genre storytelling. And in 2017, Ward became the CEO of Global Sports Financial Exchange.
All sports market is a stock market of sports team. It's a performance derivative, so when you buy shares in your favorite teams, they go up and they go down depending upon their performance.
A startup fusing fantasy sports with real-world investing. He even returned to the franchise that launched him, playing a reformed Scut, now a small-town cop, in A Christmas Story Christmas. Meanwhile, Peter Billingsley, Ralphie himself, took a quieter but equally impressive path into Hollywood power circles. After those oversized glasses, he moved behind the camera and teamed up with longtime friends Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. He produced Elf, Iron Man, The Breakup, Four Christmases, and Zathura. He directed Couples Retreat, earned an Emmy nomination for Dinner for Five, and in the ultimate full circle moment, co-wrote, co-produced, and starred as adult Ralphie in A Christmas Story Christmas.
Mr. Ralph Parker.
I've never seen this Christmas Story Christmas. Maybe that's something I should watch.
Speaking.
Is it like a sequel?
Nope. Okay, Ma.
Scut became a CEO, Ralphie became a mogul. Number 3, the director hid Easter eggs from his other movies all over the film. Bob Clark, the director of A Christmas Story, also directed Porky's, a raunchy teen sex comedy, and Black Christmas, a slasher film about a psycho killer terrorizing a sorority house during the holidays. Same guy, and he couldn't resist sneaking little winks to his other movies into Ralphie's world. First up is the Porky's connection. That movie didn't just get referenced, it literally paid for A Christmas Story. The studio only agreed to greenlight the family film after Clark promised he'd also direct Porky's 2. Classic Hollywood leverage. And in that sequel, sharp-eyed fans spotted something suspicious. A stage prop leg wearing a red shoe that looked like a cousin of the leg lamp. It wasn't the same prop, but definitely a Clark-style wing. Then there's the Black Christmas connection. These aren't direct props from the horror film hiding in Ralphie's house, but the mood overlaps. Those quiet, snowy nighttime shots, fans swear they echo Clark's earlier slasher. And the internet being the internet, some fans joke that little Randy grows up to be the killer in Black Christmas, fueled by years of suppressed Christmas trauma. Not intentional, but hilarious. Bob Clark went from slasher films to sex comedies to holiday classics, leaving breadcrumbs for longtime fans along the way. Talk about range. Number 2, The Bumpus hounds looked wild on screen, but the chaos came from trained dogs. In the movie,
of
the
course.
Bumpus hounds feel like an invading army of backyard bandits. A stampede of drooling, turkey-obsessed chaos that wipes out the Parkers' Christmas dinner in seconds. It's so natural and unhinged that for years, fans believed director Bob Clark had simply rounded up local strays and pointed them at the turkey. Great story, but not true. The dogs weren't random neighborhood mutts, they were trained animal actors hired specifically for the scene. What is true is that Clark wanted the moment to feel as uncontrolled and frantic as possible, so he worked with the trainers to let the dogs behave with a little more freedom than usual. Individually, each dog was well trained. But once you put a pack of them together, tell the trainers to loosen their reins, and place a large Christmas turkey in their path, you get the wonderfully chaotic stampede that ended up on screen.
Oh wow, yeah. They actually were kind of fighting over the turkey and stuff. That's so funny. But yeah, I guess I never would assume they would just grab some dogs and put them in there, but that does look like what it is.
Furniture really did get bumped. Crew members really had to dodge dogs, and the trainers had to wrangle the pack between takes like it was a canine flash mob. So yes, the chaos was real, but the dogs weren't strays. They were professionals doing exactly what they were trained to do: steal the show and the turkey. Number 1, the huge, expensive Flash Gordon scene got cut from the movie. Ralphie daydreamed about saving the world with his Red Ryder BB gun, but he almost took it way farther, all the way to outer space. A Christmas Story originally featured a full-blown Flash Gordon fantasy sequence complete with villains, space rocks, and Ralphie blasting aliens. It was big, wild, and one of the most expensive things they shot. The scene went like this. Ralphie flips through a Flash Gordon comic. Suddenly, he's on the planet Mongo. Ming the Merciless is moments away from destroying Earth. Flash Gordon himself is tied to something called a cobra tree, and then, bursting out of a space bush, comes Ralphie in a shiny little spacesuit he later said made him very self-conscious. With perfect kid hero aim, Alfie fires at Ming's turbo xenon space balloon, which deflates with a wonderfully ridiculous deflating sound effect the cast jokingly compared to a cartoonish, well, you get the idea. Flash is saved, Earth is saved, and Ralphie once again is the coolest kid in the galaxy. So why have you never seen it? Well, because the entire sequence got cut and never made it into the final movie. Here's what makes it even wilder.
How come they don't ever like release these things as like, I don't know, bonus stuff that you can buy now, like years later? That would be really fun to see, and I'm sure a lot of people would buy it. There's probably so many things from movies that were cut that would be fun to watch.
The scene ate up a huge chunk of the film's already tiny $3.3 million budget. The crew built a massive space rock world on a completely separate soundstage in Toronto, a full sci-fi playground, only for it to never make the theatrical cut. The only clue that it existed at all was that the actors who played Flash and Ming are still listed in the end credits. Director Bob Clark wanted Ralphie's fantasies to feel as epic as the sci-fi classics kids worshipped at the time, and he made that vision real even if audiences never got to see it. There you have it, 15 weird facts about the movie A Christmas Story. Which fact surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and if you want more nostalgic deep dives, check out our retro movie playlist linked in the description. If you had fun, hit like and subscribe. It helps us keep the leg lamps glowing.
I think the fact that surprised me the most was, I guess, that they could film in the actual store around shoppers instead of like them closing the mall down. What's yours? Also, I guess that all these leg things broke, and the fact that that house sold for, what was that, $150,000? That's very cheap. Yeah.
Every week. Until next time, this is Remember When, and don't shoot your eye out.
Ooh, Family Ties. I loved that show. Okay. Maybe we'll have to do another one later. I also wanted to watch this Christmas commercials from 1995, but I think We will do that later. Well, that's all we've got for tonight. That was pretty interesting, I guess. I don't know what I'm looking for with these Christmas videos, but I'm not really quite getting it. But thank you so much for watching with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, or morning, or afternoon, whenever you watch this.